Hey everyone, Joe Waxman here, and it's just Joe Waxman right now. Hey guys, in this video, I want to look at Agenda 21, or a little video explaining Agenda 21. And so, yeah, this is a little bit conspiratorial, more on the theme of the last video that I just released. And I know that some people don't like this stuff, but you know what? I think it's very relevant for right now, for everything that's going on, because I mean, if you're looking at the world right now and seeing everything that's happening and you're like, this is perfectly normal, everything's kosher and above boards, yeah, then you're not, you know, I'm probably not for you anyway, you know what I mean? Like um, I'm probably gonna appeal more to critical thinkers who, um, don't necessarily believe the status quo and questioning things and wondering what's really going on in the world. There seems to be a coordinated effort to plunge the Western world into chaos on so many fronts, so many different fronts, right? Things are not adding up, things are not making sense. But I'm going to talk about it. First, I want to share my screen and play a little video. It's really short, so don't worry about it. It's just like 2 minutes, and then just do a little talk, and that's pretty much it. So here we go.
Agenda 21 is kind of a code name for a master plan originated at the United Nations to change the political and economic system of the world to one of total collectivism. And in order to do that, people must not be allowed to have independence. They must be dependent on the state for every.
I just want to preface this. I'm going to probably interject and give my 2 cents here and there where I think it's relevant. What he's talking about is what I'm calling the Illuminati, right? You can call it whatever you want, the deep state, the New World Order, the cabal. You know, they have many fronts. The UN is part of that, you know, and so are, you know, all the World Economic Forum, the WHO, all these big globalist institutions are all part of the Illuminati, and this is the Illuminati agenda, right?
Everything.
Let me just go back
to change the political and economic system of the world to one of total collectivism.
total collectivism.
And in order to do that, people must not be allowed to have independence. They must be dependent on the state for everything.
You will own nothing and you will be happy and you will eat the bugs, right? Klaus Schwab, total Illuminati person.
Otherwise, they won't dependent on the state for everything. Otherwise, they won't be easily controlled by the state. That means they can't have private property.
No private property.
They cannot have land of their own.
No land.
They have to live in preferably high-rise apartments that are provided to them by the state as a benefit, so to speak. Oh, good, we got a free apartment.
No, see what they're doing to the economy, and this is not just like Joe Biden being a fucking idiot, right? They're doing it everywhere. They're doing it in America. They're doing it in Canada. They're doing it all across Europe. They're devaluing the currencies. It's on purpose, right? It's to drive it's to fulfill this agenda, which is to make everyone poor and dependent on the state. And they'll say, oh, you have no money here, you know, government's going to help you, universal basic income, oh, socialism, free this, free that, you know, big daddy government is going to take care of you, right?
They have to live in preferably high-rise apartments that are provided to them by the state as a benefit, so to speak. Oh, good, we got a free apartment. But these people at the top want all humans to be dependent on the largesse of the state. That means that they don't want anybody living out in the boonies. Anybody that's got a couple of acres of land,
Wait, yeah, you know what's going on with the whole food thing, like the bird flu. They're culling chickens in mass. They're culling cows. They're culling chickens. They're forcing people to do it, right? They're forcing them, not only here in America but Europe as well. It's a huge thing. They're weaponizing the whole climate change against farmers, saying that cows are pollutants, right? This is food. This is our food. There's no other food. You can't just be like, farming is bad. And then people don't grow. Humanity does not grow when there's no farms, right? If farms are bad, that means people are dead. That's literally what that means. It means people are starving and people are dying and people can't reproduce because there's not enough food, right? Or you get starving kids, right? It's absolutely madness. Like, carbon dioxide is necessary for plants to grow, right? They're demonizing carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not a bad thing, right? Carbon dioxide is necessary for plants. It makes plants grow better, right? And then if we dim the sky like Bill Gates wants to do, right? There's less sunlight, less vitamin D. You become weaker, more depressed, and less sunlight for the plants to grow, less food available. So they want to control. They want to reduce the population. They said it again and again and again. They want people to be sick, weak, and dependent upon them, right? Less food, less freedom, less intelligence, less sunlight, more pollution, chemtrails, all of that, all of the above, right? Eat the bugs, right? Oh, cow meat is too, it's too inefficient, pollutes the environment. Everyone just eat the bugs, right? The bugs are not food. They're not human food. I will not eat the bugs. Fuck off. Fuck off, Klaus Schwab. Fuck off, Nicole Kidman. I will not eat the fucking bugs. All right?
and anybody living out in the boonies, anybody that's got a couple of acres of land and his own water supply and can grow his own food and that kind of thing, or have some sheep or some chickens, these people are a threat to the collective.
They're making it impossible to be self-sustaining living out in the country. They will make it impossible. They are right now, and they will continue to.
Of society, because they aren't going to go to the politicians and say, please feed me, please clothe me, please give me shelter. They tend to be independent. That's the secret behind Agenda 21. They want people out of the country. They want corporations out there growing all the food and that kind of thing, but they don't want anybody living out there.
Bill Gates
because that way they cannot be controlled.
Bill Gates owns shitloads of farmland, and so do the Chinese, right? What's that all about? You think it's to help us? Bill Gates probably wants to turn it all into GMO crops, or just have it go to waste so that nobody's getting any food, right? The Chinese, who knows? I mean, it's part of it somewhere in there.
In order to control mankind, we have to get them all into the big cities. We have to rack them up and stack them up, get them dependent on the state for their food, their shelter, their electrical power, their water, everything. That's the dirty secret behind Agenda 21.
All right, so that's pretty much that video. But I mean, some people, if you're balking at some of this, you're gonna be balking all the way to the reality where it's like implemented, and you're a slave living in the city and living in a high rise, completely dependent on government, with no possibility of anything. And you're gonna be like, oh, that was all a conspiracy. That's how fucking dumb you are if you think this is a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy reality. It's a conspiracy, but it's a reality. It's really happening right now. They're overloading America and Europe with immigrants. I mean, that's really happening. It's a reality. Like, there's some places it's almost like they completely taken over in different parts, right? Millions upon millions upon millions are flooding through the border like nothing we've ever seen. That's on purpose, and they're doing it in Europe as well. What else? Culling the chickens, culling the cows, sanctioning farmers, making sure that they can't reproduce. The feed they're putting in the feed, the chicken feed. All these farmers found out that the certain chicken feeds were the chickens weren't able to produce eggs, right? That was a real thing. So they switched the feed now, and then the chickens go back to laying eggs, right? So all of these things are coordinated, right? The division that we're seeing in society between racism, right? Like the drummed up racism that the media puts out, like with the police, like police are racist. That's the stupidest fucking argument ever. I'll tell you why. Because in any of the big cities, a good portion of the cops are black, right? So what is, I mean, how does that work really? Like you just like all of a sudden you become a cop and you become racist? Like it's stupid. Like, especially here in Philadelphia. Like it's like there's so, I mean, a lot of big cities, right? A lot of black cops, right? And then like, I mean, not only black cops, but like black police chiefs, right? Black, like black officers, and like, how are you going to be racist when you have to deal with like a racist white guy? Like if you're dealing with like black people everywhere, you can't be racist. That's stupid. Like so this notion like all cops are racist or something like that. I'm not saying there's not racist cops, but that's a media driven narrative, right? That's not that's drummed up, right? Because they'll only cover like for instance, I mean, I have firsthand, my friend was shot by the cops like a bunch of times, right? And he was unarmed. That's unfortunate, and I'm not saying it was justified or unjustified. I wasn't there, but the media certainly didn't pick it up because it doesn't fit their narrative, doesn't fit their agenda. They're not going to make a big deal out of it, right? Because they're not, it's not part of the Illuminati agenda to push things forward, to push their narrative forward. The whole trans thing is the like the pushing of the gay. Like I'm for gay, like I'm for gay, but like the pushing of it onto kids, especially, or painting everything rainbow colors, rainbow flags everywhere. It's like, all right, just like stop celebrating your sexuality. Nobody gives a shit. Like keep that in your bedroom. Like fuck off. Like just fuck off. Right? Like it's really insane. Like what they're doing. It's not for like, oh, we need to get gay's acceptable. It's acceptable. It's been acceptable for a while. What they're doing is like shoving it in people's faces, like to ridiculous, absurd levels, right? So that whole thing, like the June is gay month, right? Gay everything, right? Trans everything, right? They're pushing it. It's not an organic. What I'm saying is it's not organic, right? The whole Israel Palestine thing, that's not organic. There's a lot of money behind that division, right? And they're perpetuating this division, not just with blacks and whites or gays and straights, and trans, straights, conservatives, liberals. It's also the Israel Palestine thing. They're pushing that. They're pushing the division because they're paying people to protest. They are, right? Like they all have matching tents. George Soros pays for all this kind of stuff. They paid Antifa, they paid BLM. They pay for all this. It's part of the Illuminati agenda to divide people, to sow division and hatred and strife, to get people fighting and warring, to reduce the population, to create disunity so that they can be the big savior when the time is right to be like, hey, everyone, stop fighting. We're here to unite everyone under one global government tyranny, right? Like, like he was describing, like everyone living in the cities completely dependent on the government, and it's going to be one global government. That's what they're pushing for. One global government where everyone's going to be a slave, right? So, I mean, what's the solution? I mean, when you start putting the pieces together, it's like unbelievable, right? And I'm not saying that everything is coordinated. There's not organic events. There are organic events within it, but there's this overarching puppet master kind of Plutonian control over the whole thing. Are there real disagreements? Yeah, I mean, like Russia and the West is one of the huge Russia, China, like they're vying for power, right? And I don't know the granular details about any of that, but it's like they probably disagree about how they want the global future to look like, right? But not necessarily. I'm not even saying like one side is good and one side's bad. They're probably both bad, but different levels of bad, maybe, perhaps, or bad in one area, better. I don't know, right? But none of it's good, really. Yeah, and like of course, like there's the militant Islamism that wants to establish a caliphate across Europe and the West, right? And so that's another faction. And so there are all these competing factions vying for power, right? The Illuminati, globalist banksters, yeah, which are part of the royals, and I mean the royals are part of that, right? Yeah, what's the solution? I think one of the solutions is to do exactly the thing that they don't want us to do, which is buy land and live very self-sustainably for those of you who are inclined to do that and who can and who have the means and resources, or at least, you know, to some extent move in that direction, right? That's one of the things that if I have money, or when I have money, that's one of the things I'm going to be investing in: land, right? Land back, right? Like, let's get our land back. Let's build communities, self-sustainable communities, you know, where we're growing all vegetables and grains and beans and animals, chickens, cows, whatever turns you on, fish, and live naturally and sustainably, right? Because enough of this like GMO, everything's like factory farmed and factory printed everything, and it's all full of crap. They poison everything, right? If you're still eating commercially branded food products that it's prepackaged, you're poisoning yourself, right? You just buy whole food, buy like natural food, like whole actual like beans and grains and cabbages and vegetables and fruit, and then cook yourself, right? And herbs and spices. Stop buying prepackaged stuff like McDonald's and, you know, Coca-Cola and like Fritos and, you know, all the brand name bullshit. It's just poison. They poison their food. It's all poisonous, right? They put poisons in there to intentionally make people weak and dumb and slaves. I mean, they do. There's like all kinds of chemicals, formaldehyde and like, you know, chemical dyes and all kinds of stuff, high fructose corn syrup, right? And bad fats, everything. It's like it's all poison. So eat whole foods, eat natural foods, eat organic foods, right? Stop taking their drugs. Stop, you know, get off if you're on prescription meds, get off if you can at all costs. Like whatever to the degree that you can make yourself free from the system, free yourself from the system, right? I mean, you know, be your own doctor. To the best of your ability. I'm not saying in emergency don't go see a doctor, especially one you trust, but you know, as much as possible, be responsible for your own health, right? So that's the way forward. Educate yourself, free, just, you know, be independent, be free yourself from the system. So that's, if we come together and we collectively do that, you know, we use our resources to buy land, to be self-sustaining, to vote for the candidates that want freedom, right? Like they did in Europe. Like there's a whole you know, people's uprising that they elected all these right wing. They're not really right wing. They're just like because the left is being completely fully hijacked by the Illuminati. I'm just calling it out straight, right? Straight as I can, by the deep state, by the cabal, by the NWO, however you want to put it. That's all they've completely hijacked the left on that side, so that, you know, because it's just easier, you know, they can be just coated, candy coated and all the sugary bullshit, and just be like, oh, we're for nice things, and we're for compassion and loving and acceptance, and let's all hug each other, right? And meanwhile they're like drowning in like immigrants and debt and nothing good, right? Nothing good. They're destroying the farmers, making everyone slaves, bringing like crime to absurd levels, rape, and lying through their teeth about every goddamn thing. Every goddamn thing is a fucking lie. Like you read the newspaper, it's like almost 100% lie. Like once in a while, they'll tell the truth about something. Everything else is a goddamn lie. So I'm not saying like you're not going to see anything true in the mainstream media, but a large percentage of it is fucking lies. Like like outright lies. And then when they get caught, it's like, oh, well, that was the past. Oh, we didn't realize, or whatever, some bullshit, like some Fauci bullshit. Like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, I said, you know, like all this stuff, but I didn't mean it like exactly what it means. It's like you're lying. They lie, and then they lie on top of the lie. That's the whole Illuminati. It's Satanism, by the way. It really is, and that's not hyperbole. That's not I'm not being overly dramatic. They are practicing Satanists, and they're one of the beliefs of Satanism is lie. And then when you get caught, lie about that, and then lie, and then never stop lying. You just never stop lying. And they fully believe that. That's why they're such good liars. And normal people can't fathom that they're just lying nonstop when they are lying nonstop. It's nonstop lies, right? Fauci, Hillary Clinton, Obama, right? Both all the Clintons, all the Obamas, all the Bushes, all the Bidens, Joe Biden lies just 100% of the time. He never tells the truth about anything, right? They say Trump lies all the time. I mean, no, Biden's the actual liar. Um, you know, so what else? The media is nonstop lies. Obama made like he repealed some law that like was like anti propaganda law, and he repealed that, and so like the whole since then all the media has been just nonstop lies. So yeah, they're gaslighting the shit out of everyone, lying to everyone, and leading us all towards Agenda 21, which is total control, global tyranny, one world government, bullshit, and they'll just candy coat the shit out of it, put icing all over, and it's just be candy coated shit. This is gonna be a big pile of dog shit. Worse than that, really. If it was dog shit, it would, be much better, but it's far worse than dog shit. But it's gonna be candy coated, and like all these like the stupidest people on the planet gonna be like, look, it's all good stuff. It's candy coated, and it's just like people who sad to say are a waste of breath, right? Yeah, we have a lot of them. NPC people who are just like too stupid for words, too stupid to yeah. I mean, I could go some pretty dark places, but I'm trying to be more positive and trying to keep my head above water and keep sane, and more than sane, I'm trying to elevate myself to where I really need to be. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for now. Um there's so much I just like I'm not asking you to believe everything I'm saying. What I'm asking you to do is pay attention. Start paying attention and start connecting dots, and realize when they're lying, realize when there's an agenda to achieve something, to push some goal, narrative, right? Why are they killing it? It's not bird flu. It's not fucking bird flu, right? It's not like all of a sudden, like, why are there so many fucking diseases? Like, why is everything so goddamn unhealthy that there's like diseases are running rampant? First of all, if we believe that theory, which I don't. But that would be because our system is intentionally making everything, sick, because that's just what it's designed to do. But second of all, it's not like they're using the PCR test to test these birds. And if it's the same bullshit they did with COVID, PCR is like, it's not meant for that, and it produces false positives. So they can get any result they want, right? They can just, through the adjustment of how sensitive they can find whatever they're looking for, and just say, oh, I found bird flu, kill all your chickens. They can do that without anything. Like, they just make it up. Oh, bird flu, kill monkey flu, swine flu. It's like, they just do it's not, it doesn't mean anything. They're just saying everyone kill your chickens is basically all it means. Why? So people don't have any food, so that they become dependent on the government. Agenda 21, right? That's what's going on. That's literally what's happening right now, right? And it's the whole vying for power, destroying the dollar, get all the immigrants here, make everyone sick and weak and dependent, and nobody has any resources, nobody has any way out, and everyone's just like weak and tired and broken and sick and dumb and crying for help. And big government gonna save us all with one world government candy coated bullshit. I mean, people will eat it up. They'll be like, look at all the candy coating. It's good stuff. It's compassion. They're so nice. Why do you not want this? You're racist. The past was bad. The future is bright. It's just horrible. You're white. You don't get a say in anything. White male, privileged. Get in the back of the line. it's all weaponized against us, right? It's all garbage to divide us. They're going to sow division and hatred and poverty and drugs. I mean, the drugs, oh God, everything. It's just all, it's all an agenda. It's all programmed, guys. None of this is organic. If you think it's organic, you're just not very intelligent. If you think it's just happening, this is all natural, right? We really have swine, we really have bird flu that's attacking the chickens, right? Like, oh my God, you're dumb. You're really dumb. Yeah. So anyway, I know a lot of you guys, my listeners, are super intelligent, so you get what's going on. And this is really important stuff. I mean, you know, I pointed it out last time, the Jupiter just went into Gemini, so a lot of stuff's going to be revealed, right? Like, Gemini doesn't like to keep secrets, right? Uranus is about to go into Gemini. When Uranus goes into Gemini, holy shit, all the truth is going to be revealed. You better believe it. Now more than ever, all the truth, all the stuff that's just simmering beneath the surface that we're like, what's going on there? What happened with Epstein Island, right? Who are all these people who are raping little kids? Like, we can't just fucking ignore that. You can't just sweep that under the rug. Who are all? It's not poor people. I'll tell you that. It's not unknown people. It's not like, you know, homeless guys or girls, right? It's not like middle class guys. It's rich and elite. They're the only ones who can afford to do that shit and get away with it. It's people who we know, politicians, right? CEOs, you know, Hollywood people, music people, TV people, big name people, right? Big name people are going to Epstein Island, raping little kids because they are Satanists and they're criminals, right? The people we know, actors, musicians, big time, right? Big time famous people are going to Epstein Island, raping little kids because they're pedophiles and they're Satanists and they deserve the death penalty. Fuck them. I mean, not even just like callously, like, they definitely deserve the death penalty. But they're being protected. You think the Illuminati's not real? Who went to fucking Epstein Island? Tell me that. Why aren't they in jail? Yeah. So, you know how it goes. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for today. And hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Book reading with me. So, yeah. You know, I can still do astrology. I'm still doing astrology. I just not making any. I mean, it's not a rule that I'm not making any videos. I just haven't been inspired to make any astrology videos. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not. I just got to take each day as it comes. So that's the way it is right now. And all right, guys, I will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.